The time has finally arrived. Ani Babooli has worked hard all season. He made sure to stay locked in. He stayed away from the clubs. He hasn't seen his cousin Johnny Babooli ever since he transferred over to Rangers. I don't know what the hell's going on there. But nevertheless, Ani Babooli has been crowned the player of the season in the Scottish Premiership. And I gotta say, it's very well deserved. No player has had the impact on their team quite like Ani Babooli has this season. And it's beautiful to see him collect an award and collect recognition for that hard work that he has displayed on the pitch. And while on this run, Ani Babooli can't help but reminisce on his time at Rangers FC. A lot of growing has happened at this wonderful club. Ani Babooli has learned a lot about himself, a lot about his resiliency, and just how tough of a person he is. And he only has Scotland to thank for that. Whatever happens after this season, Ani Babooli will always remember his time in Scotland very fondly. But it's time to put the feelings aside and lock the fuck in as Ani Babooli heads into match week 34, facing off against Aberdeen. And in the third minute, Lazitic on the ball. Lazitic dancing around with the ball, getting past the Rangers defense, but Barron is there. And Bayrami passed it to Raskin. Ant-Man back to Bayrami. And Alex Bozo passing it over to Ant-Man. Ani Babooli just occupying space, doing what he does best. And now Babooli creates some space, passes it to Bayrami, who finds Babooli, who finds the back of the net with absolute ease. And Rangers with a hammer fist, nice and early. A sucker punch courtesy of Babooli. And the fans going absolutely insane. But there's still a lot of football to be played. Gassama back to Babooli, whose pass is intercepted. And now Ant-Man working with Babooli. Babooli in all the space, cutting in. Ani Babooli with his left shot into the top corner. Oh my. And look at the orchestrator. Orchestrating the orchestra. And the music is too loud for Aberdeen as Rangers collect a victory and yet another 3 points, which keeps us 5 points clear at the top of the table. And Celtic are trying to apply all the pressure, but we are in control. And heading into match week 35, we face off against Kilmarnock. And Brunel would find Babooli in the 5th minute of the match. And Asgard was able to find Brunel, who was able to send it through to Ani Babooli, who had all the space he could ever ask for. And you know he ain't missing from there. Well, he might miss, but this time he wasn't gonna miss, as Ani Babooli scored in the 6th minute of the match. And Rangers taking a nice and early lead, which was almost stripped right away from us in the 16th minute, just a few minutes after, when Dackers had a shot, but it went wide. And with that victory, we remained at the top of the table, even growing our lead to 8 points clear as Celtic suffered a loss. And if you're not like me, that means you can do math. And that means we only need one more win to secure the title. And what better team could that victory be against than the team that we face in the Scottish Cup final? And Brunel settling the ball. Ani Babooli with a thunderous shot just over the bar. Atef to Nielsen. And Nielsen would lob it over. And Sutar would pass it over to Ant-Man, using his head, of course. Raskin on the ball. Passing it over to Barron. Babooli on the ball. Passing it to Ant-Man. Ant-Man back to Babooli. Babooli getting past the defense, creating all the space he could ever need on his left foot with a shot. And somehow does not find the back of the net. But Ani Babooli with another chance now. Losing the ball once again. And Neuenhoff to Valerie. Valerie Passing it right to Baron. Baron finding Babooli. Babooli with a brilliant pass to Bayrami, who has a shot and puts it into the back of the net. The Albanian assassin bailing Babooli out of jail once again. And this could be the goal that seals the title. Atef passing it back to Halket. Halket finding Neuenhoff. It's Diamande heading the ball to Ant-Man. Ani Babooli turning with the ball, getting past the defense, having a shot, and Stone with a wonderful save. And that is the end of Ani Babooli's night as Rangers secure the Scottish Premiership. Ani Babooli has won his first ever domestic league title. A very important day in the career of this young man. Maybe the league title didn't come from where he thought it would, but you know what? It's here and it's beautiful. And heading into match week 37, Rangers, the champions, hosting Hibernian Edinburgh. And Bowie on the ball, losing the ball. Babooli to Bayrami, and Babooli now finding himself one-on-one with the keeper, essentially. Just kidding, call it 3-on-1. Ani Babooli doesn't care because he's gonna smash it into the back of the net 2 times. And the orchestrator with the dance, the Ani Babooli prance that he has made ever so famous here in Scotland, sending Glasgow into a frenzy as Rangers collect yet another 3 points, solidifying our dominance in the Scottish Premiership this season. And you could not write a better script if you paid the best writers in the world, as the final match of the season is against Celtic, who will have to watch us lift the Scottish Premiership regardless of the result. And McCowan tried to spoil our party in the 8th minute. Brunau passing it to Garcia. Garcia turned with the ball back to Barron. Barron was able to find Brunau, who found Barron, and Barron lobbed it over to Babooli, and Babooli continued making his runs, continued creating space, did a 1-2 touch on his right foot, curled it into the back of the net, and that was that. A wonderful goal by Ani Babooli. Sees Celtic in the mud once more, and the champions celebrating in front of the home crowd. Brunau would pass it right back to Babooli just as the second half began, and Ani Babooli looking dangerous here, cutting in on his right, having a shot off the post. It goes. And Matthias Nunes on the ball. Matthias Nunes crossing it over, but Kelly's there to collect as he throws the ball over to Babooli, who heads it back to Bayrami. Ant-Man and Babooli working together as they have all season. Bayrami sending it through to Babooli. Ani Babooli on the ball, losing the ball. And with just minutes left in the match, the fans' anticipation growing to see Rangers lift the Scottish Premiership once again. And Davies crossing the ball, and it's Babooli who will see the end of the match. And Rangers have been crowned the champions of the Scottish Premiership. Ani Babooli has won his first ever domestic league title, and he did so in stunning fashion, scoring over 50 goals for the team in the entire campaign, counting the Cup's Champions League, of course. A wonderful season for Ani Babooli, a tremendous season for Rangers. We are now the champions of Scotland. Ani Babooli has himself a medal, and it's only up from here. And as you can see, Ani Babooli getting ready to celebrate his first ever league title. As I said before, he did not expect that first ever league title to arrive in Scotland. I'm sure he pictured somewhere else like Spain. But here they are lifting the Scottish Premiership. And Ani Babooli looks happy as hell while doing it. So I don't think he cares what league it came in, because as you can see, that is one happy man celebrating with his brothers. Lessons have been learned. bonds have been created. Friendships have been created. Brotherhoods have been created. And as you can see, this brotherhood can call themselves champions of Scotland. And if you're looking around in the celebrations for Ani Babooli, you can find him somewhere in the back. Funny that, the man who scores the most goals on the team is in the background of the celebrations. What a humble king Ani Babooli truly is. And you see the team posting up with the trophy, getting ready for the team picture. Ani Babooli looking happy as ever, as Rangers have been crowned Scottish Premiership champions. And as you take a look at the final league table, you can see that we finished with a total of 97 points and a record of 30 wins, 7 draws, 1 loss, and a goal difference of 60 after 38 matches played. And as we get ready for the final of the Scottish Cup, we face off against Hearts FC, and we can complete a domestic double if we play our cards correctly. And Ani Babooli looks locked in for this final. He wants to complete the double to go along with that golden boot. And Atef passing it back to Devlin. Atef on the ball, hugging the touchline. Back to Devlin he goes. Bayrami with the interception. And Babooli with some skills, splitting the defense, passing it over to Ant-Man. Ant-Man on the ball, passing it to Babooli. Devlin intercepted once again. Ant-Man passing it to Roskin, who finds Barron. Garcia able to get it to Babooli. Babooli creating some space with a beautiful back heel pass to Brunel. Brunel doing the same to Babooli. And Babooli now turning, having a shot off the bar. Can you believe it? A very intense cup match so far, as Steinwender turns and passes it to Agu. And Shankland with a beautiful pass to Agu. And Agu finding Valerie. Valerie passing it over to Shrinkland, who has a shot, but Kelly's there with fingertips. Back and forth football here in the cup final. Roskin intercepting the pass. Davies finding Barron, who finds Garcia. Brunel able to get the ball to Babooli. Babooli on the ball, passing it back to Brunel. Babooli continuing his run. Babooli still continuing his run. Barron passing it to Roskin. Good passing here by Rangers. Babooli continuing his run. Alex Bolton finding Babooli. Bang, 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 bang. Goal. A wonderful goal by Ani Babooli in the final of the Scottish Cup. And Rangers find themselves up 1-0, and you can see the crowd going absolutely insane. And Brunel would find Babooli once again in the 84th minute. And Babooli continuing his run, able to find space. Ani Babooli cutting in, still on the ball, getting brought down. Ref sent him to jail, sent him to Guantanamo Bay. What the hell's going on? Nieuwenhof on the ball, just minutes left in the Scottish Cup final. Ani Babooli sliding at everything. Devlin back to Atef. Atef on the ball. Hearts trying to make something happen with just 1 minute left in the match. Atef getting pressured by Babooli. The match comes to an end. Rangers have won the Scottish Cup. And Ani Babooli has won the double. A wonderful, wonderful ending to a fantastic season for Rangers. We won the league. We won the Scottish Cup. We're not going to talk about the Champions League, but we won the league in the Scottish Cup. And that is damn impressive. Ani Babooli making the fans lose their minds in Glasgow. And as you can see, Rangers getting ready to collect their second piece of silverware for the trophy. A truly tremendous season for Rangers. Ani Babooli, of course, the player of the year. Ani Babooli. Of course, the top scorer of the year, and Ani Babooli. Scottish Premiership champion, Scottish Cup champion, a Scottish champion. And you can see Rangers as a collective, all the way from the fans to the staff to the team. Everyone looking happy. Everyone celebrating this wonderful, wonderful victory. We have been dominant in the league. We've been dominant in the cup. Yeah, we had to do a few replays against Celtic. But I'll tell you what, they took us to the very end. And with the end of the season approaching, Ani Babooli can truly reflect on his time at Rangers as a successful time. Whether he stays or whether he goes, that will be answered in the next episode. But one thing that's for sure is that Ani Babooli left Spain as a boy, finding out just how tough professional football is, and he arrived in bitter, cold Scotland. And he has truly proven his worth and proven that he is ready to be the next big football star. And as you can see, Rangers parading around Glasgow on top of their bus with the Scottish Cup as well as the Scottish Premiership trophy at the front of the bus. Ani Babooli celebrating with his brothers, enjoying the fruits of their labor. A truly magnificent season has come to an end. Bonds were created, friendships were created, lessons were learned. And now Ani Babooli can reflect on his time at Rangers while looking at some beautiful pieces of silverware that he has added to his trophy cabinet. And with that, season 3 has come to an end. Thank you guys so much for watching this series. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Will Ani Babooli stay? Will he go? Only time will tell. But for now, that's where I'm gonna leave you. You have yourself a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.